Happy birthday, United Nations. I hope that as you get older, you find a way to wiggle out from under the unipolarity of the neoliberal investment regime. As an institution built upon the pillars of peace, development, and multilateralism, we know that things could be worse. On a scale of 0 to 100, where 100 reflects the original vision of that sacred trust, and 0 is a big fail, you're probably at 10. Why? Why such a low score? Well, let's look at the pillars, the foundation upon which the United Nations was built. The pillar of peace was weak because the only peace you made possible was the peace dictated by the United States after Truman dropped 2 atomic bombs on civilian populations in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And after all the thousands of nuclear test explosions, it pretty much ensured who was going to dictate peace. Unfortunately, only a rash fool would drop atomic bombs on civilian populations. So does that then mean that it is a rash fool that is dictating peace? The pillar of development was weak because it was achieved by pushing forward the Marshall Plan agenda. When the World Bank and the IMF were co-opted by the United States, all development sectors were relegated into little more than backdoor free market schemes. And of course, this happened after the UN Charter was signed and during the development of the Marshall Plan up from 1948 to 1951, and then following that. And then there's like the third pillar, which is the pillar of multilateralism. And that began to rot once you collaborated on the institutionalization of neoliberalism, which happens around 1989, 1990, after Perestroika. So how strange it must seem now that the one country that actually aligns itself with the founding principles of the United Nations is also the country that you refused to recognize until 1971, and is also the one that you seem incapable of supporting, especially with the Belt and Road Agenda, the Belt and Road Initiative, and and how it aligns with the Sustainable Development Goals, as well as the Conference of Parties, Climate Peace Agreement, and the other UN multilateral agendas that have been signed, including upholding the WTO. You know, China is the one country that upholds peace, development, and multilateralism, whereas it is the the US, who is clearly the dominant force in the UN, that has betrayed these UN principles for the benefit of the 1%. So yes, while my UN rating of 10 could be worse, it's at 10 because I still believe in those principles, and I would like to see that vision restored. The UN will be a complete fail unless it has the capacity to sanction the United States for their military aggression, their regime change, their ongoing, relentless misinformation propaganda campaigns. The UN needs to repair those crumbling pillars and restore that principle and restore those principles. We need to remove the dollar as an international reserve currency, for example, and replace it with a non-national currency as originally intended. We need to pursue real multilateralism to assert a just, fair, equitable, and sustainable economy, beyond the shackles of the neoliberal free market agenda. I still believe in the UN, but the pillars have crumbled because its foundations was weak. So, happy birthday, happy 75th birthday, United Nations, from me, Arnie.